Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. So I'm here today. I'm here today to share with you guys my update. You guys know how I do it. You know, been on a little streak here and feeling good. It was unexpected. You know what I mean? It was one of these things where it kind of just popped up and I just went with it, you know? So here I am 6 months later on another semen retention journey, okay? This will be my second time experiencing this. Now, at the very beginning of all of this semen retention stuff, okay? I just want to let you guys know at the very beginning of this semen retention stuff, man, there was so a massive amount of changes, okay? We've talked about this in previous videos in the past, right? You guys have seen my transformation, you've seen my journey. Now, moving forward in this second hiatus on semen retention, you know, I was expecting some different things. I was expecting to feel the same way, okay? I was expecting to kind of have the similar path that I had my last journey. Interesting enough, I felt like I put myself in like a cockpit type of cruise control mode, and I ended up overlooking some small things that I was noticing that I didn't pick up last time, okay? And one of the biggest things that I did not hit on and I did not talk about that I noticed was eye contact on semen retention, okay? And this is going to lead into my LOA story, and this is going to lead into the female attraction stories that have just been off the chain here in the last couple months, okay? But I don't think directly it's because of just my 6 month journey now. You guys got to understand something. When we're practicing no fat, when we're practicing semen retention, okay, most of the time, you are going to be retaining large amounts of your semen, okay? This is just a fact. You're going to be retaining a large amount of this semen. So you're not going to be one of these people, you know what I mean, that are out here that are going to be low vibratory, low energy, you know what I'm saying? So your energy levels are always going to be high, bro. You're always going to be vibrating high. People are always going to feel your energy, okay? And this is what I was noticing about this semen retention, because from the past one, what happened with me was is you know, once I got up over the year and a half mark, you know, these things like drastically started changing. I started being more sensitive to pick up different things. But what I didn't know, bro, was this eye contact and how important it is, okay, to the whole law of attraction, okay? Let me ask you guys something. When you first meet someone, okay, when you first talk to someone, when you first meet someone, what is the number one thing that we do? Okay? We don't talk with our eyes to the ground. We don't talk with our eyes to the sky, okay? Most of the time it's some form of greeting where it's a handshake and you're making direct eye contact with the people that you're meeting. Now, here's my stories and why all these things have been going on. It's been crazy. So the other day there was an assembly at Jordan's school. Okay, I decided to go. Okay, and I'm just gonna sit here and tell you guys I haven't been out in the public in the last 6 months. I wouldn't call it solitude, but I've been spending a lot of time with myself, trying to learn different things about me, trying to fix areas of my life that I feel like I have some kind of issues in, which I really don't feel like I have a huge amount of issues. I would like to be more productive, as far as my content and stuff like that goes. So that's where I would like to put that energy. You know what I mean? But I just started going in and being myself, and starting to figure out what's wrong with me. You know what I mean? And what areas that I can make stronger. So I decided to put my energy into working on my content. I have another channel that you guys probably are not aware of. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check out the channel. It's called Darius Washington. It's a original channel that I've been using for a while. Okay, not to make content, but I just use it to kind of just browse YouTube, when I'm offline and stuff of that nature. So I started just, like I said, focusing on myself, bro. And I must tell you guys, when I started diving into this and I started figuring out the relationship between the eye contact between when you meet people, it's like an opening a door that you have no idea where the possibilities are going to take you. So I went to this assembly the other day, okay? And like I said, I haven't been in the public. I've been focusing and working on myself. I've been trying to stay out of the public, bro. You know what I mean? I wouldn't call it solitude, but I just just being myself, bro. Just really trying to take in what's going on here, okay? Because there has been some things, but we'll get to that. So I walked into this assembly. Now you got to understand, when you go into an assembly and they invite you as parents, there's going to be a ton of people there, okay? I so happen to got the message late to show up to this assembly, okay? So when I walk in, the assembly's already in full go, okay? And there's nothing but probably at least like 300 people all standing up against the wall facing the door as you come in. So I showed up about 20 minutes late, and it wasn't because I was trying to be late. I got the message late to show up to this place. So when I walk in there, there's about 300 people standing there. And now let me mind you, let me tell you guys something. There's a couple things that I've been reading and researching on, and it's the pheromones on semen retention. Okay, mainly after the 60-day mark, you excrete a crazy amount of pheromones out of your body as a man. Most of it comes through your beard hair, your armpits, your pubic hair. You excrete sexual hormones through your urine as well. So I decided to try a couple things that I had read online. Okay, and I started them the day before I went to this assembly. Okay, so I wasn't expecting to go in and be surrounded real in close circumference of a lot of people. I was thinking I was gonna go in and it's just gonna be people in front and they don't see me and I come in the back and I get to sit down or whatever. No, guys, this was like a test. This was like a test, okay, of my semen retention powers, because when I walked in the door, it was like all eyes were on me. Okay, I'm not making this up. I'm telling you guys the straight up truth and how this felt. My heart almost skipped a beat at first when I first saw all these people and all the eyes on me. Now you got to understand why all the eyes are on me. Okay, number one, I came in, like I said, late, and I came in through the front door, and the where you come in, everyone is facing kind of the front door, so they see you come in. Number two, I happen to get dressed up, pretty nicely. You know what I mean? Because I was thinking this is, his one of his last, schools is out towards the end of the year now, so you know what I mean. Like kids are getting out of school, so I'm thinking this is going to be one of his last things. So I kind of dressed up nice. So I dressed up kind of like in my cowboy get up. I had a nice brown cowboy hat on. I had a nice black shirt. I had my giant God beads. You know what I mean? And then I had some Wranglers and some boots on. So when I walked in through this door, I shit you not, you guys. I shit you not. My heart skipped a beat on how many people turned and just stared at me. Okay? Like, you gotta understand, there's an assembly thing going on. Okay? And I'm just a regular person walking in. And all these people literally, bro, turned and just stared at me. So what I had to do to kind of get people to understand, get them to understand that they were staring at me, is I had to individually walk by all these people, because I had to walk by them to go and get to where the people were at, you know what I mean, that were sitting down. So there was at least about 150 people that I had to walk by just on that. So you got to imagine that as soon as I come in, all these eyes are like on me. They're just looking at me, right? I'm just like tripping out. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is kind of crazy. My heart kind of skipped a beat, you know what I mean? Because all these people are staring at me. But at the same time, it's like my body adjusted to all the pressure, okay? Normally something like that, what would happen, I'm going to give you an example. Normally something like that will happen if you're one of these people who are low vibratory, you're one of these people out here that are releasing their semen all the time. You're not going to have that confident, you're not going to have that masculinity, you're not going to have that posture, you're not going to have that frame. And naturally what I did, and I noticed it, okay, and this is what I'm telling you, there's something with semen retention that's so amazing, because not I'm gonna get to all the good shit, but just listen to this on the way. It's so crazy. So literally, I stood up tall. At this point, I stood up tall. I put my chest out. I put my chin up, and I put my head high. And I walked by all these people who were staring at me. And I'm telling you, it was probably, it was probably 30% men. You know what I mean, and 70% women. And each one of these people I walked by, I looked them directly in their eyes, and I gave them eye contact. Now, what I notice when I walk by all these people when I'm giving them eye contact is it's like I could study exactly who these people are and what their mind frame and thoughts were at the moments when I made eye contact with them. I shit you guys not. It was like I looked every single one of these people in their eyes, and most of these people, like I said, most of the guys that I noticed right off the bat were, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but you could tell they were fappers and weak men because they couldn't hold eye contact with me. It was like they were intimidated by my presence, and they immediately put their heads down. The same, it went for a couple of the females, but there was also a lot of females that blocked eye contact with me, bro. And I'm going to get to more significant things as we go. So I walked over. After I walked by, like I said, at least 150 people, dude. And this is all going to tie into all my stories later, so you're going to hear this. This is crazy, bro. So I walk by all these people, finally go, and I turn my back, and I'm kind of facing the assembly. Now, about 20 minutes in, you kind of get the feeling when you just have someone kind of like staring at you. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of have my head on a swivel. I kind of act like I'm paying attention to every single thing that's going on in front of me, but I kind of got my head on a swivel, and I'm kind of just checking on what's going on side to side of me. And I'm looking at all these women. Okay, I'm just keeping it real with you guys. I'm looking at all these women, and they're looking over in my direction. Okay, and here's the thing. Most of the time when there's what I've noticed, when women look over in direction, they'll turn away. You know what I mean? They don't want to be seen looking at you. You know what I mean? Why is it that when I'm turning and I'm looking at these women that they're still remaining like eye thing that I notice? So I'm standing with a couple women watching the assembly, and I'm noticing more people coming into my area. Okay, this is crazy, guys. I'm telling you guys the truth. So this is all happening within 30 minutes of me showing up to this place. Okay, and then I have these people that are coming next to me, and they're just like kind of like gravitating me. I shit you not. This lady was like literally bumping up against me. Okay, there's plenty of room. There's plenty of room. Okay, there's plenty of room. Okay, people could spread out as far as they want. You know what I mean? But it's crazy that she's bumping into me. You know what I mean? And she's with her husband. I just find it crazy. You know what I mean? It's the energy. It's for the most part, it's the pheromones. You guys, you got to understand how powerful this is. All right. These people don't even realize what they're doing, okay? They don't even realize that they're attracted to you the way that they're doing. They don't even realize that they've moved into your area. They don't even realize that they've sensed and picked up this frequency and this energy, okay? And now they are attracted, okay? So as I'm sitting there about to leave, okay, I'm getting about to leave. It's about an hour into it, because like I said, I came like 20 minutes late, so it was about an hour and 30 minutes for the assembly. So I decided to leave, and I started to walk out. Now, as I walk out, I make sure that I'm one of the first people to get out of there, okay? Because I got there late, and the last thing I want to do is be behind all these people and have to look at all these people again, and perhaps having to talk to some of these people. So I hit the door quick. Okay, now what I noticed when I hit the door quick is that I'm walking down the walkway and I'm trying to get to my car relatively quick. As I look back, gentlemen, why is it that there's like two of these women that are literally trying to keep up with my pace? Okay, they're literally trying to keep up with my pace, all right, and kind of like following me down the walkway. Okay, and I'm turning around, I'm looking at, them, I was like, and it was some of the women that I gave eye contact to that kind of just locked eyes with me and eventually made their way into my area. Okay, I find this so funny because it was all about my eye contact at first. Now, let's say I would have walked in, right? Let's say I would have walked in, scenario two, head down, okay, chin down, okay, not making eye contact with any of those people who saw me. Of course, my presence still probably would have been looked and acknowledged, but for the simple fact that I walked in with my chest out and my chin up and I made eye contact with each one of these people signifies, all right, that they were on and able to feel my frequency and energy, bro. LOA, okay? And these people were now drawn and curious about me. And this is what happened, okay? So get this. I leave there, right? I leave there the next couple of days. Right? The next couple of days, I'm hanging out in town. I go to this shop, bro, and this girl owns a shop. It's called like a Sugar Mama's Bakery. She owns this shop here in town, right? So I go to this shop, and as I'm going in this shop, there's this flyer there, right? And there's this guy standing there, and he's like, "Hey, man, we're gonna be having a reggae party. You know what I mean? I think you should show up." Okay, now let me tell you guys something. I don't go out. I'm not a person that goes to the club. This is why I don't put myself in position to fap off. I don't put myself in position to go relapse. I don't put myself in position to be in trouble because, like I said, I'm pretty much a homebody, bro. I like to study, all right? And if I run into you in public, then, you know, and if we meet that way, then that's the way we're going to meet. But I'm not one of these people who, you know, go run around and go do all that. So, like I said, I was in this place, and there's this flyer there, and it said reggae party. I wasn't thinking nothing of it because I wasn't going to go. I just saw the flyer. This guy comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, man, you should come to this reggae party." And I'm like, "Okay, I might do that, you know." I said, "I might do that." I go, "Where is it?" He gave me the address. I said, "I might do that, bro." So when I got home later, I was like, "Okay, man, let me tell you what. I think I'm going to go to this reggae party. I'm not doing nothing. I haven't been out in fucking 8 months, 9 months at least. You know what I mean?" I was like, "I'm going to go check out this reggae party." So I get in the car and I drive down to this fucking reggae party. All right. Now I get to this place. Now you gotta understand. Here I am again, walking in this fucking place. Usually where people go with couples, with groups of people. You know what I mean? People don't go there by themselves. Okay. I'm walking in this bitch by myself. All right. So I come in and I open the door and immediately I have like the same shit that happened to me at the assembly. You guys, if I'm lying, I'm fucking dying. Okay? So it's like I'm a fucking celebrity. You guys think I'm joking, bro. I'm not even fucking playing around, guys. Okay? I'm not pumping my horn. I'm not tooting my shit. I'm telling you motherfuckers the truth. Alright? And I've never been welcomed like I don't get this type of welcomes, bro. Okay, this has only been some shit where I've been on Semen-Retention. What else am I fucking doing, okay, that would, you know, garnish such a fucking welcome, bro? Okay, so I walk in this fucking place and it's the same goddamn thing. All these people are fucking staring at me, okay? All these people, all right? It's like they turn and they just start staring at me. So immediately my heart starts racing again. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. I gotta have to fucking, you know, absorb all the energy in here. Because basically what you do in a place like that is like you have to literally pick up all the energies and you gotta fucking not absorb them, but you got to be able to deal with all the energies there. You got to be able to, when you go into a room and you're a sensitive energy person, you got to be able to deal with all the energies in there. Because if you're not, you're going to get irritable. You're going to have things that bother you. You're going to be off your who you are. You know what I mean? There's so many different things when there's different energies in a room that affect you. So immediately I had to go in there and I had to kind of like digest all these fucking wild energies. Now, I shit you not. As soon as I go to the fucking bar, dude, this guy walks up right behind me, right? As soon as I came in, he was one of the guys that was just staring me down. So I turn around at the bar. This guy fucking makes a beeline to me. Like, not even 2 seconds, dude. I walk up to the bar. This guy walks up to me. And he says some fucking kind of low-key racist shit, okay? Now, I turn around, I look at this guy. And I'm like, you know, I kind of just stare at him. You know what I mean? You know, he's kind of like trying to size me up and everything, right? And I'm just staring at him. And I kind of turned back around like I kind of ignored him, right? And he's like, oh, man. And he tapped me again. He said, oh, man, I didn't mean to come off like that. He's like, I didn't mean to come off like that. He said, my bad. He goes, I get it. And then he said, low key, is what he said. He said, I understand what it's like to be a brother, you know, in a place like this, you know what I mean? And you got all these people in here, you know, and then your only brother walks in, you know, and then I come up and say something like that to you. He goes, it makes you probably feel uncomfortable. And I was like, not really, because I'm used to it, you know what I mean? But I think it's funny that this guy immediately is on me, okay? This guy immediately is on my energy, okay? Now get this for the rest of the night, all right? So the rest of the night, this guy is trying to be my friend, okay? He's just trying his hardest to be my fucking friend. He's buying me alcohol. He's fucking, you know, just talking to my ear off. And then about an hour into the conversation, I find out that we have something in common. I found out this guy used to go to my college, okay? This guy is a 50-year-old male, okay? He used to go to my college. He used to play football, all right? And this is where I felt like he was, you know, not low-key racist, but he was used to being around so many brothers that some of the things that he would say could get him into trouble because he's mixed with alcohol. You know, he's kind of like on the borderline of belligerent drunk. And I end up finding out a lot more of this guy as the night went on. So as the night's going on, this guy is now challenging me in every single thing that I do. This is what I want you guys to understand. I want you to understand, just because you're on Semen-Retention, don't think that your fucking LOA is always going to attract positive energy, okay? There are some people that will see you for what you are putting out, and they will want to come to you to try to test and see if you're stable and try to test your energy, okay? And this is what I want to prove to you what happened with this gentleman, because it makes no fucking sense why everybody else was want to deal with me on a positive level. I had this one guy, soon as I walk in, from the very start, who was on me the whole night. So get this. So we're sitting down there, we're talking. This other gentleman joins us because I'm just like I said, I'm so vibrant, I'm full of energy, I'm talking rather loud. People are just attracted. So this guy comes over and he starts chilling with me and this other guy. We're just sitting here talking. Now, as this other gentleman comes over, the guy that I told you was immediately on me as soon as I walked in starts turning it up a little bit. Now all of a sudden this guy wants to start getting physical. He wants to start fucking arm wrestling and start doing shit like this in the crowd. Now I'm sitting here talking to this guy. I'm just like, man, listen, bro. I said, look, bro, I came here to enjoy myself. I came here to have a good time and possibly look at some fucking women. I didn't come here to fucking arm wrestle with you and be bickering you and going back and forth with you, okay? This is the first time I had said something to this guy because he had been testing me since I got there. The whole time he's bumping into me. The whole time he's feeling my arms. You know how those fucking over masculine fucking, you know, toxic fucking men do, bro. All right? These toxic motherfuckers, bro. This is this example of a toxic motherfucker because everybody in the fucking bar is looking over at us like, are you going to deal with this guy? And I dealt with him in such a calm way, and this is why I want to tell you guys this story. So he's fucking bumping into me. He's feeling my biceps. You know what I mean? He's just trying to fucking test me, bro. Why? Because I'm glowing? You know, I'm just showing you guys this LOA, the semen retention. It's fucking amazing because I'm just a regular person, G. Okay? I'm just a regular person, G. And all of these things are happening. So this guy is just running his fucking mouth, right? Then he says, I'm going to beat you. Now, look, guys, I at some point have to defend myself, okay? All right? At some point, I have to defend myself. And I don't mean physically, okay? But some point, I got to defend myself vocally. I got to draw a boundary, okay? I got to put this guy in his fucking place or he's not going to stop, right? Because I wasn't, like I said, I'm peaceful. I'm not there doing that, bro. I'm not there trying to have a good time. This motherfucker bought me a shot. You know, I was on my second beer. I was chilling, bro. You know, and then here's this guy. All of a sudden now is just physically testing me, bumping into me. Like I said, that right there is a no-no. If he would have done that back in college, I would have flipped him over on his head. I'm just telling you guys, I am that freakishly strong, okay? I got a lot of strength for my size. I'm 185 pounds, but I'm stronger than any guy over 220, 230 pounds. Guaranteed, bro. I'm that strong. So this guy's bumping fucking into me, bro. And my fuse is now starting to fucking light. Alright? He's bumping into me, grabbing my arms, and now he's challenging me. Now, let me tell you guys something. I'm not talking no shit. I'm not pumping myself up. Alright? This guy said he's going to beat me in arm wrestling. Okay, he says this to me, right? I'm just thinking. I already told him I don't want to do this. I'm not here for that. Okay, but he keeps going on. So I warned him. I said, bro, let me tell you something, man. I said, you're judging me on my size. I said, and then number two, I'm going to tell you something is that I used to be an arm wrestling championship. I have a fucking trophy. I'll show you guys. I used to be an arm wrestling champion. Okay, and this I just find it ironic that this guy is here in this place trying to ruin my night, okay? I'm putting out such a good vibe. All these chicks are smiling at me and everything is good. And they have this one guy, this one motherfucker that wants to challenge me. So, this guy that was next to us is starting to get annoyed too. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to put an end to it. I said, all right, man, come on, let's arm wrestle. So we get down at the table, all right? He has to take off his jacket. I said, you got to take off all of that, bro? Like, I already knew at this point he knew he's in deep shit, okay? He knew he was in deep shit. Because when someone usually wants to challenge you, they usually get right to it, all right? They don't procrastinate. It's like when someone gets in a fight with you, it's like, oh, here, let me take out my earrings and let me do all this and let me do all that. No, nigga. When you're ready to get down, you're ready to get down. All right. So he starts taking off his jacket. I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, this guy does not want this, bro. You know, I just know he's bigger than me, but he does not want this. He doesn't understand the power. You know what I mean? And so I'm sitting there kind of just, you know, calmly, just chilling. So we lock up. And let me tell you guys something about arm wrestling. Before you even arm wrestle, before you even go to fucking cement arm wrestling, once you lock up, you feel that person's power, okay? And when I locked up with that dude's hand and I set my fucking arm on the table, this guy, I felt quit. Do you understand? I felt quit, all right? I felt the arm get noodle, all right? He felt the power, bro. Once I locked in and the hand locked in and I got my fucking shoulder locked in and my arm and my forearm and everything was fucking locked. And you know when you lock and you're feeling the tension, this motherfucker didn't want it, bro. I felt it. I felt it in his hand, all right? I grabbed his hand. I felt it. I gave him the tension. And I'm like, okay, man, whenever you're ready, all right? And then he goes, right? So when he goes to fucking do it, he lifts his fucking arm clear off the table. Guys, I'm not making this up. This motherfucker lifts his arm clear off the fucking table, bro. Right? Puts his arm back down the table because the guy that was next to us was kind of like trying to make sure it's fair. I told him I'm not going to cheat as an arm wrestling champion. I was like, I know how to arm wrestle, bro. So the fucking guy gets his arm flare off the table. He finally gets his arm on the fucking table. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. You know I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating on how quick I fucking dismantled this guy's arm. Okay? He fucking... Soon as he locked up and I said, are you ready? He's like, yeah. I said, go. He goes and he started pushing. I turned my head. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I turned my head. I looked at the dude. I said, is he serious? And I went, BAM! And I slammed his arm that fast. Now, let me tell you guys something. The reason I want to tell you guys this story is this. I did nothing to provoke this. This dude, probably sitting back, low vibrational, had some kind of demonic forces attached to him, saw my light as I came into the door, made a beeline towards me, and instantly was trying to alter who I was and how I felt by trying to get me drunk, okay, by trying to take me out of my fucking square physically, okay, but then trying to talk down onto me and punk me, okay, in front of all these people, okay. Now I want you guys to understand, everybody saw me dismantle him, okay. Everyone was getting tired of this guy's mouth because he's just talking loud. Everyone's trying to chill, dude, and he's just like talking dumb shit. I hear everyone else's conversation. This is the only motherfucker sitting here talking about dumb shit, okay? Talking about how strong he is, talking about he want to arm wrestle, okay? But here's the thing where I found out about this guy, and I eventually felt bad for him in a kind of a way. So after all that, I slammed his arm. I was like, dude, can we squash this, bro? You know? And the other guy was like, yeah, man, let's just squash this. So me and the other guy just took off, and we walked off, and we went to go watch the live band, right? So as we go and watch the live band, I'm sitting there talking to that guy. We're talking about his ass for like the next 45 minutes, right? The guy that was fucking with me, right? So he was like, hey, man, you want to go get another Corona? So we walked back inside, and we're at the bar again. Now, it's just me and this other guy. Not the guy who was starting shit. It was just me and this other guy who was chilling. Now, here comes this guy who was starting shit again. Here he comes again, bro. He walks up to me. Okay, we're at the bar minding our own business or having our own conversation. He walks up to me, bro, okay, right up behind me, and he's like, man, let me tell you guys something. Alcohol, low vibration, and fapping does not mix, okay? Alcohol, low vibration, and fapping does not mix, bro, okay? It turns you into a fucking bitch beta motherfucker, okay? I'm telling you what I saw this whole night from this guy, okay? Number one, like I said, he challenged me and he got embarrassed. So what do you think he's coming back for? Maybe some sort of redemption, right? Probably what it is, right? So I'm sitting there, got my back turned. He walks up to me, all right? He fucking does the tap on the shoulder thing again. He's like, he goes, you know what, man? He goes, I was trying to be cool with you, bro. I bought you some alcohol, bro. And you want to fucking act all fucking tough, like you don't fucking, like you're too good and you're all this and all that. And he's like, you know what, man? Let me tell you something, man. He goes, I'm not even going to apologize. He's like, I'm not even going to fucking apologize. He goes, you know why? He goes, I don't even got no problems with fucking black people. See, let me just tell you something, man. The truth always comes out, okay? The truth always comes out, okay? The truth always comes out. What happens 9 times out of 10 when people start acting like this, when the alcohol brings the truth out of people. It brings the real truth out of people, bro, okay? Because this is what it did. It's showing me that this guy had some fucking low-key racial issues against fucking black people. Let me tell you another thing that he said that ties in with that. Because he was talking about how he was he played football, he was 50 years old, so he played before me. I believe it was a 91 or something like that he said he played, right? So he was talking about how he was the only white guy in the position that he played. And he kept talking about how he was better than all the black guys. You know what I mean? So that was just stuff that he was saying throughout the night. So if you start to put the story together, start to see what's happening, there's some low-key jealousy, there's some low-key hatred towards, copper melanated brothers there, bro. Okay, because by no, I didn't do anything to this guy, nor did I provoke this guy. Okay, and he kept letting these things come to the surface, what was really on his mind and what was really bothering him. And like I'm trying to tell you guys, low key, what it was is this guy also found out that he had just got a divorce. Okay, he had just got a divorce, so you know he's out here fapping every single day. Okay, you know he just done lost half of the shit that he fucking had. That's why he's in these fucking bars. This guy was like almost on the point of being belligerent drunk. Okay, so we all know that this guy had these low things that were happening in his life. But the fact of the matter is this, guys. The way he was able to pick up my energy, just like every other single person that night. Okay, because I'm not even gonna. I don't even want to get into all the female stuff because I just feel like that's unnecessary. You guys get the point, okay? You guys get the point, all right? The problem I'm having is, I want you guys to understand, is on semen retention, it's not always going to be someone positive, all right, that is going to be attracted to your energy, bro. You're going to get some negative people that are attracted to your positive energy just by forms of jealousy alone, okay? I'm telling you guys the truth, bro, okay? Because this is what fucking happened to me, man, all right? Now, I want to tell you guys one other thing. Hold on one second here. Let me check these comments. 1.5 years later and quit. Good job, bro. That's amazing, man. That's amazing, bro. Real talk, bro. That's amazing. Brian says, I would have just walked out and called it a night. Bro, and listen, man. Please understand this, guys. Everything that happens in life is a learning lesson. It's an opportunity for you to study something, detox it, or you know what I mean? Take it apart, study it, detox it, bro, right? Put it all back together and learn from it. This is just another situation because it taught me how to deal with people like this, all right? Yeah, I could have dealt with it in so many other ways, bro. Like I said, there's a million different pathways that one can choose to deal with something. And I didn't choose to deal with it like that at all, okay? I actually chose to kill it with kindness. And what I also thought was funny is there was some other gentlemen there that, like I said, everyone was seeing this guy testing me, bro. Everybody saw it, bro. There's these two gentlemen that walked up, probably the two coolest gentlemen there. And I gave them compliments on their beards. These guys had the most bangingest beards I've ever seen. There was these two cream colored brothers, okay? Because I don't want to use the word white and black anymore. There's these two cream colored brothers, right? And they had this fucking beards, like these long beards. And like I just told you guys, those are one of the number one places that a man excretes the highest amount of fucking pheromones, okay? And these guys were rocking all the fucking crystals and all that. These dudes walked up to me, dude, and this is what they said. They said, man, you got to kill people like that with kindness. And dude gave me a hug, bro. I was like, I thought that was crazy, man. I was like, you know what, bro? You're right, man. And I noticed that people who rock the crystals, that look natural, that, they ain't drunk, they're all on the same energy level, bro. I thought that was fucking cool, man. It was one of the coolest fucking things ever. Now, guys, I want to tell you guys about a couple of female attraction stories real quick, okay? And the reason why these are so significant is because of the situations, okay? So here I am. This is a month ago. So this is it's about 5 months in semen retention, right? This is about a month ago. So I was on a job, all right? I was on a job. And the job required me to go to this very, very nice residential area, all right? And what we were going to be doing was we were going to be building walls for houses, okay? So in this area where I went, these homes were all over $600,000 and up, okay? These were freaking super nice ass homes, bro. Okay, really nice homes. Big ass, huge square footage homes that we were working on, right? So we're in there working, and it's just me and this guy, right? We're in there working, we're in there doing our thing, okay? We're putting up these walls. And I noticed as we were putting up these walls that there was this female who lived in the house right in the back of this fucking place that we were putting up this wall. So her house was right in back of where we were putting up this wall, right? So I just noticed her, okay? She was way down there, okay? She was nowhere close to us. I just noticed her, right? Little blonde girl, right? Thin. She had fucking yoga pants on, you know, nice little shape, you know. We noticed her, okay? Let's just say that. So we're working, we're putting up our walls. We're done putting up the walls. We come down the ladders because we're up there pretty high. We come down the ladders and we'll start working on the bottom section. Now, as we're down at the bottom section, this puts us closer to this woman's house, okay? Now, she has this big, huge back patio, right? With these huge back windows, right? So she can see everything that we're doing now, and we're kind of like right up on the property. So we're fucking putting up the wall, we're building the wall, I'm drilling, and, stapling these things together, and we're getting ready to put up this other wall. So we finally push up this wall, and I turn around, and this lady comes out, okay? She walks out. Now, here's what I want you to understand about this story, and this is how I know it's all about semen retention, okay? So there's about 15 to 20 fucking men in a tight area around this house, okay? They were on the side of her house. They were on this side of her house. They were in the front of her house, and it was just me and this one guy in the back side of the house, okay? So probably about 17, 18 guys total, okay? All of us can be seen. All of us are walking around. All of us are right up against her house. She can see all of us, okay? So we're done putting up this wall, right? We're going down. We're working on the bottom wall. I see her come out. We kind of turn around. We see her come out, okay? She walks over towards us, kind of looks over at us, right? She didn't come up to us, right? She walked over and observed us, though. She kind of walked over and seen what we were doing. Now, this is what I want you to understand. There was hella men outside. We're not the only ones, bro, okay? Men everywhere. There were men talking to her. There were men walking up, saying stuff to her. There were men everywhere, bro. So she walked up and she checked us out, right? For some reason, she kind of just hung out. Now, let me get you guys to understand. We look like scrubs. All right, dirty. I'm in my Dickies work fit. I got my hat on. I got my gloves on. I got my orange shirt. Got my Dickies shit on. I ain't got no fucking beads. I ain't got no chain. You know what I mean? I'm not looking suave, bro. All right. So we're fucking sitting there working, bro. Like I said, these guys know she was cute because those guys, guys were coming off their jobs, just trying to talk to her. You know what I mean? I'm not entertaining her at all, bro. So all these guys are fucking, trying to just be cool with this girl. They're all walking by and saying whatever. So she comes, she looks at us. She hangs out for a second and kind of like gives us this weird look. Then she goes back in the house, all right? And about 15 minutes later, she comes back outside. But guess who she comes back outside with? She comes back outside with her daughter, okay? Her daughter's like this little girl, right? So she walks outside with her daughter, and she makes her daughter walk up to us and hand us some food, okay? So we're standing there, and her daughter walks up to us and hands us some food. And I'm looking at the food like, I don't really want no food, but I'm going to take it because, I'm thinking I kind of got an idea what she's doing. You know what I mean? She's kind of breaking the ice so she could come over and see who the fuck we are. You know what I mean? That's how I figured it. So I took the food and I started eating the food, whatever, you know what I mean? Doing my thing. And go to put the food down and go to continue to work. So we started back working again. And this time she comes out again. Now she walks all the way in to where we are, okay? And she's standing there face to face with me, okay? I'm standing there face to face with her, and the guy is kind of behind me. So he's behind me. He's not even side by side, you know what I mean? He's behind me. So she walks up and I just kind of said hi, you know what I mean? Because she didn't say anything. And I kind of said hi, and I said my name, and I asked her, what she was doing here and all that. And, she's telling me her story and where she's from and, what they're doing and this and that and this and that. And then I look down, and she has this fucking ginormous, if I'm lying, I'm dying, bro. I look down, she had this ginormous ring on her finger, bro. Okay? And I mean ginormous, bro. Okay? And I'm thinking to myself, you got a husband. You got all this shit going on for you, and you coming up and you curious about me? What is going on here? Can somebody please explain to me? Okay? Can someone please? And I got plenty of more. This is just one story. I got probably about 10 more I probably won't even be able to get to. Can someone explain something to me? Why was she so interested in what I am and what I'm doing? Why did she feel like she had to come over into my vicinity? Because you guys do not get how females work. Obviously, you don't. You haven't been with enough women to understand when a woman comes and puts herself in your vicinity, it's for a reason. Okay? She had to do a lot to come out of her way to come over into my vicinity. And the way that she used her daughter to come over to break the ice because she wanted to come over. Okay? Now, despite her having a significant other and whatever else, the proof of the pudding is this, bro. I am emitting some kind of fucking energy, bro. Alright? I don't see how you guys not notice this, man. Alright? We have other men that are talking about the same thing. Shout out to my boy TC Talks, man. Congratulations, man, on your fucking 8-month semen retention, bro. Keep going. I hope you can make it to a year. If you can't, man, you can't. If you can, you can, bro. You've already done your thing. Congratulations, bro. We need more people out there like you, man. All right? Congratulations. Okay. So, what do you think what do you think drew this woman to me? Let's keep it real, guys. The way I looked? Come on, we already discussed on how I looked. I looked like everybody else. Okay? And I wasn't the only brother there. Okay? What it was, bro, what it was is when she came into my area, there was something that she sensed, bro. And that's why she came back. Okay? She could have maybe thought it was curiosity. Maybe she just thought maybe something, ran through her head all of a sudden and she was like, oh, maybe I should say something. Who knows what it was? We can't understand that because we're not females, okay? We don't have the receptors and the ability to pick up these type of things, bro, okay? I'm just telling you what it was, okay? And how it worked. And it made no fucking sense to me whatsoever how that happened, bro. Okay? It just didn't make any sense. It's like, could it get any more weirder than that? Okay? I appreciate that, bro. Really do, man. Thank you, brother. It's just funny, bro. I just think it's I just think it's funny what's been going on, man. Semen retention, bro. It's real, bro. It's real. We've talked about it. You've seen it. I'm on a 6-month streak, bro. All these things that were happening to me last time are now happening again, guys. Okay? All these things, bro. Law of attraction, okay? The eye contact, the female attraction, bro. Like, guys, I could sit here and tell you all day about these stories. Okay, I could tell you all day about these stories. All right, even okay. I'll give you guys one more. All right, one more. So, tying on to going out to that party. Okay, at the reggae party. Okay, When we left there was another place that we decided to go stop at, okay? Because on the way home, they were having another get-together. So we decided to stop at this other place on the way there. Now, here's the difference, what I want to tell you. I want to explain a couple differences that I notice about female attraction and about law of attraction. I want to explain some things to you on how that you can get the most efficiency out of it, okay? Because efficiency is a huge thing when you're talking about the fucking law of attraction, bro, okay? So we went to this other place, okay? It was like a little underground club, okay? We went to this other place, bro. We walk into this place. Now, this is why I want you to understand how the efficiency of the female attraction is a little bit different when you have a whole bunch of people in one area or one space, okay? I want you guys to understand this. When you have a whole bunch of energy in one area or one space, okay, it changes a little bit. It changes the dynamic. And the reason it changes the dynamic is because you got to think about it. If you're going into a place, okay, you're retaining. Let's say you're going to a club, all right, and you're retaining. What you're going to run into is you're going to run into an area where you're going to have a whole bunch of people that are basically spreading pheromones, bro, okay? You're going to have a whole bunch of people that are spreading their fucking energy, okay? So basically what you're going to have, bro, in there is just going to be a fucking, it's just going to be a crazy amount of fucking energy, a crazy amount of pheromones, bro. A pheromone fucking orgy, if you will, okay? In a club. That's basically what's going on, okay? Because you got the women in there, got the women in there lifting their necks, flipping their hair, okay? Some of them got the skirts on. Their vajayjay's getting all moist. It's releasing all sorts of pheromones. You got the dudes that are in there with their long beards. You got the dudes in there that forgot to put on their deodorant. They're releasing the BO. They're releasing the sex pheromones. So when you go to a place like this, there's going to be a lot of people around. I want you guys to understand that the efficiency of your attraction is going to be a little different. And the way that you're going to notice that your attraction and your female attraction works at a higher level is where you're more of a one-on-one scenario, okay? Where there's maybe you're outnumbered by more females to men, okay? But if it's any other way where it's all these people around, you got to understand what's going on there, bro, all right? It's like a communication bulb there where it's just a whole bunch of voices going up in a circle and ain't nobody able to grasp and communicate anything because all the energy is chaos. It's all over the place. That's why if you're going to try to see if your law of attraction, your female attraction works on something like that, what you must do is you must take somebody to the side, bro, okay? You must remove yourself from all that energy, all right? And then, apply yourself, okay? Because what I noticed was it was utter chaos, like I said. It was a fucking pheromone orgy, okay? Because that's all it was. So how are you going to stand out with your semen retention powers in a place like this, okay? You still can because you're going to glow, all right? But you got to understand there's going to be so many mixed signals in the air. No one's going to be focused at one point, for longer than 5 minutes at a time, okay? The attention fucking span is going to go out of the window in a place like that because, like I said, bro, you got so much fucking pheromones floating around in a place like that, okay? So now as I went down and I went in there, okay, again, my fucking sharp mind is already processing this, okay? My semen retention mind is already processing this shit, bro, okay? It's already fucking processing this, bro. This is what my mind was doing, okay? Already working, calculating what the fuck was going on, okay? So I'm like, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go chill in the cut, right? I'm just going to go chill in the cut. I'm going to go step back from all of this, right? I'm going to step back from all this, and I'm going to see if I can still make this happen. So what I do, I went and chilled in the corner of the bar, okay? I went and chilled in the corner of the bar, all right? By myself, all right? Now I want you to understand another thing,
Okay, because I feel like this is important for you Negroes to understand. Your man here, the Shaved Lion King, is a 42-year-old OG boss. Okay, 42-year-old OG boss. All right. I'm up in here with nothing but 20-year-olds. Okay, there ain't nothing but 20-year-old women running around this bitch with their cattail up in the air, just squirting off all kind of pheromones. I saw brothers in there, man. It was just like, damn. Like, I couldn't even stay in there too long. I didn't even stay in there all night long, bro, because young, beautiful women, bro. Golly, I love you. I love you, young, beautiful women. Golly, there was some, golly. Man, I had to leave, bro. It was, there were so many bad women in there, bro. I had to leave. But I didn't leave until after I seen that my law of attraction and my female attraction worked. So let me get to that. So I sit in the corner of the bar, chilling by myself, watching all these women. Like, damn, man, I wish I was fucking 20 years younger, bro. I would have been in the middle of all of that. All right, if I was 20 years younger, bro. All right, I'm just keeping it real. So I'm sitting there, and I'm just kind of watching, and the unexpected happened. Okay, the unexpected happened. I wasn't paying attention to nothing. I didn't even know what was going on. So I'm sitting there, and this lady taps me on my shoulder. I turn around, and it's the bartender. Okay. Now, I'm not looking at her. I'm not checking her out or anything like that. She just tapped me on my shoulder. And she's like, hey, can I get you something? And I'm like, no, not really. I don't drink. You know what I mean? And she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of chilling, you know. And I go, I'm not a big drinker. And she was like, oh, okay. She goes, you know what's funny? She goes, you know what's funny? I seen you earlier tonight. And I said, really? I said, where'd you see me? She said, you were at that other place about a few hours ago. Dun, 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 dun. So here's another example of what I was telling you about my fucking attraction is working. I was at another place 3 hours ago, bro. Didn't even see this person. They recognized me. Okay. She works at this bar, but she was at the other place because her friend, I got into it later in the conversation with her, that her friend was the person that threw the party at the fucking other bar, right? So that's how, you know, she was there, but she worked at this bar. So I was like, crazy, because she said she saw me, right? And I was like, crazy. And she was like, yeah. She goes, it was good to see us, like, you know. And I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. I was like, cool. So I kind of walked away from her. I thought that was kind of weird, right? So I walked away from her and I went and sat down. Now, as I'm sitting down, bro, I'm sitting down this bench, all right? And where I'm sitting, there's no one sitting at this bench. So I'm sitting down this bench, kind of looking out at the people dancing or whatnot. And I look down at the end of the bench and I see this wallet. Okay? Like, well, something that I thought looked like a wallet, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? And I kind of got up and I walked down. I picked up and it was a woman's, like, purse. Or not a purse, but, you know, that they carry around in their purses. It was one of those. So I didn't look in it or nothing. I picked it up and I was like, oh, some woman left her fucking billfold. So I walked over to the fucking bar and I gave it to the lady who had tapped me on the shoulder, who said she knew me, right? So I gave it to the lady, right? I gave it to her. I went and walked back and I sat down. I'm lying, I'm dying. I gave it to her, I went and walked back and I sat down. So I'm sitting down and I'm chilling, and here comes that lady from around the bar. Okay? She comes from around the bar. She walks up to me. She goes, oh my God, where did you find this? And I said, find what? She goes, this. And, you know, it was the billfold thing that I had. And I was like, right there. She goes, oh my God. She goes, I lost this last night and I've been looking for it everywhere. Thank you. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I was like, no problem. Thinking that that's the end of it, right? She reaches down and gives me the biggest fucking hug, bro, for finding her billfold. Now, look, you can draw this however you want to draw it, Okay, like I said, I'm an experienced dude, bro. I'm an experienced dude. And if you ask me what I think is she sat that billfold there at some point where we weren't paying attention, okay? Because it wouldn't make sense that that billfold sat there. There was tons of people in there. So you just tell me someone just left that thing there this whole time and it was there from overnight? What I think was she sat the billfold there because it was right next to me, knowing that I would probably pick it up and return it to the bar, right? Or she was going to be the judge if I was a creep or if I was a weirdo asshole because I picked the shit up and disappeared with it, right? So I picked it up, and like I said, I just went and gave it to her. That's all I did, and I turned around and came and I sat back down. And she came almost 5 minutes later, came from around the bar and was like, hey, where did you find this? And I was like, right there. You know, it was right there. Everybody can see it. It was right there. And she gave me this big-ass hug. It's like, I just think she just wanted to hug me. You know what I mean? It made no sense, bro. You know what I mean? I'm like, a thank you would have been good enough. You know, fist bump, a dap. You know what I mean? But no, she wanted to reach down and put them jubblies on me. All right? So, again, guys, little things are showing themselves during this time, bro. Okay? And the reason I think this is because, like I told you guys, man, you're different, bro. You got to understand you're different. All right? I feel different, bro. Okay? I feel different, man. And people treat me like, bro, it's true what they say, man. You're going to experience what a phenomenon is like. It's called celebrity status, bro. Okay? I'm not telling you you're going to probably become rich and all that. That's not what I'm saying, bro. People treat you so well on this, and I don't know what it is, bro. Let me tell you something, man. That night, I got so many drinks bought for me. Okay? I think I paid for like one. I don't even think I paid for one. Now that I think about it. So, it just goes to show you, bro, that this shit is real. And these things happen, bro. So, if you're really practicing this, you guys, there's going to be so many things that you're going to experience. Why don't you guys want to give these stories? Why don't you guys want to give these testimonies yourself? Huh? Why do you want to have only a few guys up here on YouTube that are really putting in the discipline, that are really going through this, bro, that are bringing you these experiences? Why don't you want to practice this yourself, man? I'm still stuck on the fence, and I don't understand why you guys have still not jumped into this, man. All right? You wasting time with your life, bro. What else are you doing, man? Okay? An orgasm to your hand can't be that fucking good, bro. It just can't be, bro. All right? You gotta stop it, man. You gotta stop it, bro. You gotta stop it, and you gotta be one of these guys that men look up to, bro. Why don't you? I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Why don't you guys want to be one of these men that other men look up to? Why don't you want to be that, bro? I'm showing you through the law of attraction. I got that. Everywhere I went, people were looking. I'm telling y'all the truth, bro. I can't explain what it is. All right? I really can't, guys. I really can't. I just know it works. All right? And yeah, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. All right? I had my first experience with blue balls 3 days ago. 3 days ago, I had my first experience with blue balls. It's been 6 months and I haven't had that experience. All right? I haven't had that experience. All right? And I got a little taste of it. Because you know why? Because I let my mind drift in the gutter. That's what happened. So if you're going to sit here and tell me that you get it by any other way in semen retention, you already know that you're the one provoking it. Okay? Because I just sat up here and told you. That's what happened to me. That's what happened to me. All right? I was sitting around here thinking about slappity slap slap. And next thing you know, guess what happened? All that energy got super tight down there, bro. All right? And I'm just telling you, bro, when you get tight, man, ice doesn't do nothing for the tightness, bro. Ice just tries to cool it down. Okay? They don't do nothing for the tightness. They don't do nothing for the thought. All right? So you got to be clear. You got to be clear in your mind, man. Okay? You can't be thinking these nasty thoughts, bro. You can't be provoking these things, bro. Stay off the internet, man. All right? Go to bed early. All right? Exercise before you go to bed at night. Okay? This is one of those things that I see that works tremendously with you. Okay? It works. All right? I'm telling you. You got to find a way, all right, to keep that energy threshold low enough, all right, that you don't awake the sleeping giant. Okay? Because we already know once that sleeping giant wakes up, bro, you literally got to fucking wait till your mind changes a different frequency before his ass decides to relax. All right? Unless you are going to plan on draining that faucet. And we don't want you to drain the faucet. All right? I want to tell you guys one last thing before I get out of here. One last semen retention story. Okay? I remember back in my relationship. All right? I remember back in my last relationship, all right, coming right out of my 20-month semen retention. I want to talk about this because I've never really talked about it too much, but I want to tell you about how funny this is. So, out of my last 20-month semen retention relationship, right? Once I got into the relationship, right? All right. First off, I want to tell you guys that if you're one of these people out there that say that you're on semen retention and you have a significant other, first of all, big ups to you if you can do that. Okay? Now, I only know of a couple people that I wholeheartedly believe, you know, that practice semen retention and have a woman, okay? And the reason I'm going to get into these examples is this, okay? My last relationship, when I came off my 20-month streak, okay, the first time that I had intercourse off of my 20-month streak, I told you guys I lasted for well over an hour, okay? I lasted for well over an hour. And the reason I chalked up that too is because I felt like I hadn't did it in so long. I hadn't summoned that energy. I hadn't summoned that monster in so long that it was like, it's not like the body forgot. It's like you had to bring it back into practice to get the body to understand what you're doing again. Okay? And that's why I think I lasted so long. Okay? I don't think it had anything to do with just because I had retained it that long. It's just because I hadn't did it in so long. I hadn't practiced that function in so long that I delayed the process, right? So what I noticed was when I was in my last relationship and I was doing the intercourse and I went for an hour plus, bro, and I didn't ejaculate was this. I had such a tight buildup after having intercourse with a female and not ejaculating, okay, on 20 months of retention. Now, this could be because I was on 20 months retention. So it could be different for people that are on 3 months. It could be different for people that are on 4 months. It could be different for people that are on 5, 6 months, 7 months, etc. Okay? The pain, the buildup, the tightness could be different. Okay, I don't know. I'm just telling you from what I know is when I had intercourse after 20 months with a female, okay, and I did not release, that I had extreme amounts of tightness and building and blue ball sensation because of that. How is that not the truth? We all know when you get built up just with thoughts down there, you get tight and you get that blue balls feeling. So you're trying to tell me that having intercourse with the female, okay, not ejaculating, you're hard, but you're in there, regardless of what you can tell your mind, okay, regardless of what you can tell your mind, player, Okay? The fact of the matter is, that orifice is going to get rock hard, and that energy is going to have to go somewhere. Okay? So, for me, it's just, I had to eventually release this. That's why I told you about 4 hours, 5 hours later, I ended up releasing it. Okay? I ended up coming off my 20-month streak. Okay? Because while I was having intercourse with her, I told myself, you know what? Since I feel like I am not going to release it, I'm just not going to release. Maybe I can get away with having intercourse and not releasing. Let's see what happens. And what happened to me was, about 3 hours later, I was starting to feel a tremendous amount of pain. All right. And about 6 hours later, I was back up in there releasing my energy. Okay. So, big ups to you if you are one of these people and you're out there and you are being honest and you are keeping it real. And you're telling me that you can have intercourse with the female and not have the tightness of blue balls down there and not be affected, and you're on a long streak. You've done something that I have never been able to accomplish, man. Okay? Because I tell you what happens, bro, when you're that built up. And the only time that I've done that was at 20 months. And it could be different, okay? Maybe it'll be different for me between a 6-month and a 7-month and an 8-month streak. I don't know. All I'm telling you guys is during my 20-month streak, that was damn near impossible to go inside of a female, okay? Not ejaculate, okay? Stop, okay? After the feeling, and then be okay with it. Okay, your body is not going to be okay with that energy. Okay, that energy is going to go right into your balls. Okay, and you're going to have a lot of pain if you're not careful. Okay, so if you're one of those guys that can do that, though, like I said, big ups to you, because there's not a lot of men out here that can do that. Hell, there's not a lot of men that can even go up in a woman and even last 2 minutes. The average orgasm is three to 4 minutes, bro. 3 to 4 minutes, all right? You little jackrabbits out there. 3 to 4 minutes is the tops that you guys are putting up on the world out there. That's sad, bro. Okay? That's sad. What's up, Jim? How you doing, Jim? Jim's in the building, Jim. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, brother. What's up, Michael C? How you doing in there, brother? I didn't see you in there, Michael C. Good to see you, man. I appreciate it. You like that Beavis and Butthead shirt, bro? Those are my guys. My Beavis and Butthead. Those are my dudes, man. Oh, we got some long streaks in here, bro. We got some long streaks in here, man. That's what's up. Congratulations to you guys, bro. Congratulations. Operation Shutdown says, thank you for sharing your journey. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of it, man. No problem, man. I like to share, bro. And I suggest that you guys, subscribe and support these other guys that are really doing this, man. Like I said, I shouted out early in the video to my man TC Talks. If you guys ain't subscribed to my man TC, get over there and subscribe to my man, bro. Okay? He's really doing this, man. All right? There's not too many people out here that are really doing this. You can tell just by listening I know you guys are bright gentlemen. I know you guys are smart. I know you guys are intelligent. I know you guys know how to decipher between bullshit or not. Okay? So you guys should be able to watch these channels and be able to know who's telling you the fucking truth, bro. Okay? You should be able to know. And I watch all of these channels, and I'm telling you, there isn't very many people telling you the truth, bro. Okay? But TC, one of them, man. He's doing it. All right? He's doing his thing. Go over and support the guy. All right? And learn some things. All right? Because I'm telling you, I know a real one when I see a real one. I know someone who's doing it when I see it. Okay? Also, I want to give up a couple shout out to a couple other people. I want to give a shout out to a couple other people. All right? I want to give a shout out to HTO. HTO, man. We need you back in the community, bro. All right? We need you back in the community. We need all of our Semen-Retention people back in the community, okay? Because all of us have different personalities, bro, okay? All of us have different personalities. All of us have different talents, man, all right? All of us have the abilities to spread this message to millions across the world, bro, okay? And what we need to start doing out here is we need to start coming to fucking together, bro, okay? That's what we need to start doing out here as fucking a real, like, legitimate community, okay? There don't need to be no beasts out here. They don't need to be nobody's better than nobody, bro, okay? If these people really are real out here, other people need to start supporting each other in the Semen-Retention community, okay? And we can start with these live streams, all right? We can start with these group live streams. We can start doing podcasts, okay? But as long as somebody's out there pushing the message, okay? As long as they're out there pushing the message, bro, I'm in full support of all of these people, man, okay? It don't matter about your streaks, okay? It don't matter about none of that, okay? Yes, the ones that do have the longest streaks, the ones that do this are going to have the content, are going to be the ones to listen to, okay? Yes. But it doesn't mean nobody else out there can't push the positive message, bro. And that's important. That's what I want you to understand. So shout out to everybody else in the Semen-Retention community, man. I keep my eye out there, man. I see y'all doing y'all thing. Keep doing your thing, man. Austin Fuller Fitness, what's up, bro? Good to tap in on here again, man. Good to see you, Austin, man. It's been a minute, bro. Good to see you. I hope everything's going good with you, Austin, bro. For real, man. Straight up. Who is that? Sharish? Is that how you say it? Sharish Gopa? Watching your videos from 2 years from India and learning from you. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much, man. Really do. Appreciate that. Big ups, bro. Who's that? Damn, y'all are from all over the place today. India, we got India. That's good to know, man. At least these live streams are reaching people across the world, man. That's really good to know, man. All right, guys. So, we talked about the LOA. We talked about the female attraction. And we talked about the eye contact. Okay? All of these things right here, bro. Okay? All these things right here. You can expect to be really, really strong in your 6-month journey, bro. Okay? 6 months and up, bro. This is when these things really start to take hold. Okay? As I said, I've already been through this once. All right? I've already been through this once, and I'm seeing the same thing again. All right? And I'm going to keep preaching it to you guys until you guys understand, bro. Okay? Until you guys understand, man. There is nothing more in this world that you want to be than a leader of men. Okay? As a man. You want to be a leader, bro. Okay? You want to be someone that people look up to. You want to be someone that people respect. Okay? Not only that, you're going to get stuff from the opposite species. Okay? Women are going to be attracted to you. They're going to be turned on by you. They're going to want to make love to you. Okay? They're going to want to have sex with you. You're going to be the 1% man. Okay? You're going to be the 1% man. 1%. That means, bro, that you are going to be the object. Okay? You're going to be the object of desire to these female, bro. Because you're not like the rest of these dudes. I'm showing you what it do. I'm showing you what it is. Okay? This shit is real. It's been happening, bro. Alright? And it's just getting better and better. Okay? It's just getting better and better. And I'm just waiting for some of you guys to take this shit seriously, man. Okay? I'm waiting for you to take this shit seriously, man. Alright? Stop playing around, guys. Alright? This is another 6-month journey that I've been on, all right? I hadn't heard nobody else talking about they've been on no long streaks, man, okay? Which lets me know that you guys are sitting out there fapping off your energy, bro. Okay? Fapping off your energy. You're being low productive. That's why I don't see any motherfucking videos. You know, you're probably dealing with all kind of fucking shit in your life because you're doing it to yourself. You're doing it to yourself, bro. Okay? Told you 2022 is the year of energy, bro. You should be fucking harnessing this goddamn energy the best that you fucking can, man. All right? I'm telling you what it is. All right? So get on your journey. Get back on your horse. Every fucking channel out there should be having a semen retention channel or a semen retention video attached to it, bro. All these channels should have a semen retention video attached to it because every man should be practicing it. All right, guys. One last message. One last message. I want you to look at it like this. Here I am, 6 months in. All right? 6 months in. I feel like I'm fully loaded, bro. All right? I'm just keeping it real with you guys. I feel like I'm fucking fully loaded. All right? I'm just keeping it real with you guys. I feel like I'm fully loaded. All right? I got enough semen in my balls right now, all right, to create my own motherfucking continent. And I'm keeping it real, bro. All right? I'm keeping it real. All right? But one thing is, bro, the one beautiful thing is about this journey, bro. The most beautiful thing about this journey, bro, is who you end up becoming to be. You end up becoming somebody, like I said, man, you never expected to be. I never thought I'd be on YouTube talking about semen retention, teaching people about what I've learned and about what I've been through. I never thought that I would be on fucking YouTube doing this. All right? Most motherfuckers are embarrassed to talk about anything like this, about their penis, about anything. Most motherfuckers are embarrassed, bro. But here I am, in the public eye, telling you about my life, being honest, okay? Being honest, bro, all right? Nothing to hide, all right? And in the turn, what I get is all of these things that I wanted in my life. While y'all sitting behind the screen watching, wasting your time, you watching me level up. You watching me gain, bro. Okay? And I don't want you to sit back and not do this for yourself, man. Okay? Because I'm leveling up every single day, harder and harder and harder. And it doesn't even matter at the end of the day, even if I do go and release this energy with a woman, because I'm just going to be on NoFap anyway. And then when I'm on NoFap, what I'm going to be practicing is, I'm going to be practicing the art of fucking tantric sex. So therefore, I'm going to be absorbing all the mitochondrial energy from the female and leveling up 10 times faster and 10 times harder than the rest of you niggas, because you niggas don't understand that you need a female to reach your most ultimate potential. It is the way it is. You need to do your research on mitochondrial energy and understand that the female supplies that. And the only way a man is going to break to this highest level, the only way a man is going to break through, all right, to that Super Saiyan Black or whatever other Saiyan level you're trying to get through, is you're going to have to raise your mitochondria through a female. And that's why the Most High put them here. They put them here for that specific reason. It's an energy exchange and an energy transfer. And if you learn how to use this system appropriately, you're going to keep leveling up in life, okay? You shouldn't have to do this as semen retention for the rest of your life, because that is the hard road, okay? It's a road to get you started, okay? It's a road to get you going. And then once you find your significant other, your female partner, it is then your duty to keep that energy recirculating, okay? And not wasting it, okay? not fapping off in napkins, not watching pornography. Okay, you're recirculating this energy with your partner. Okay, and like I said, once you finally decide to take it a little bit further and you go and do your investigation on tantric sex, all right, and then you understand that you need her to reach your ultimate goal, you'll start to see the true beauty of semen retention, and you will appreciate everything in nature, including the women, for who and what they are, despite what you've been through and what's going on. Okay? So become a master of semen retention. Okay? Become irresistible. Okay? Become irresistible. All right? Say no to the path of least resistance. Okay? Because you, as a man, you want to do this shit the hard way. Okay? You want to do this shit the hard way. Okay? This is what you want to do. All right? So I thank you guys for watching. I want to say Happy Father's Day. Okay? Father's Day is tomorrow. I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the men out there that are watching. Okay? We care about you, man. All right? We care about you, man. And this is the reason we make these videos, bro. We make these videos to try to improve our lives the best we can, because we understand what we're facing with as a man in today's society. Okay? But I'm telling you, the best thing for you as a man that you may have never discovered is semen retention, because it's going to change your life. All right? We're going to end up flooding the internet. We're going to end up flooding YouTube with the truth, bro. Okay? Every man should practice, bro. At least 60 days, bro. Okay? Every man should practice that. Why? Because then from that point on, we're going to be birthing gods into this world. Okay? We're not going to be birthing low vibrational, unwanted, unloved, okay, lustful fucking children. Okay? We're going to rebuild at the fucking very basis of this, starting with us men, starting with the fucking conserving of our fucking sperm. Okay? At least fucking 30 to 60 days. I'm saying 60 at least, especially if you're wanting to conceive. All right? And we're going to start bringing gods. We're going to start bringing the gods, returning the gods, because it's our duty to bring in healthy, mature children, because they are the future. So you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Happy Father's Day. All right, guys. I'll holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.